and then I'm passing all the traffic for the default gateway is going through port 1, right? This is going through port 1. So all I got to do here is come and create a policy from port 1 to the internet. And then I have to come here. Before I do that, I have to come to security profiles, version control, the one I just created. I think I didn't save it. So you got to come to create new. You got to come to, let's say for Twitter, let's say you just do, now there's a lot of porn on Twitter, right? Come to Twitter, add selected, add all results. Okay, once you add okay, it's populates it here, then give it a name. So let's say Twitter block for my kid, right? Once you do Twitter block for my kid, once you okay, list it here, come to policy, create new policy from port 1, that's internet 1, and call it blocking Twitter for my kid, right? And then outgoing interface will be the 1.1 or 1.2, and then source is going to be, and create an object just for his IP address if you have static or the subnet or something. For instance, this is a subnet for VLAN 200 that I created for VLAN 200 is where all the workstations for the employees in Shadow Guard stay. VLAN 100 is for all the servers through that network. So you can just say for VLAN 200, assuming that your kid is pretty much on this VLAN 200, which is your laptop, your kid's laptop, your TV, and the PS5 for the kid, right? And then you don't want nothing because you're dealing with internal traffic to turn off the nothing. Then you turn on the application control, and then you add the Twitter block for my kid, and log all the sessions and click OK. That's it. So the next thing you also have to do is the extension will be all because it's the internet, right? Service will be maybe all because it's the internet too. Not all services will be on. So the next thing you have to do is, if it's important to you, push the policy to the top, because firewall policies, as you know, work from top to the bottom, right? When it finds a match, it's not going to check the rest, so push it to the top if it's important. Depending, the granular policy stays on top, and that's it. So, and then you can match the traffic if it goes to Twitter. If your kid still goes to Twitter, you're going to see it. It's going to log it. It's going to say like 562 megabytes. You know, it's going to be like, oh, dude, I already told you to stop going to Twitter. I know you've been going to Twitter because it's matching traffic. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm going to delete the policy because it's useless to me. So that's the kind of stuff you can use it for. Or let's say you needed a CGI NAT. Is a CCG NAT? I forget what it's called. Like if you needed port translation to get, if you needed to, let's say you're giving multiple people, and you needed like, let's say a dedicated static address. So I'm saying you can use that firewall because I used to do it. That's the way you do it. You're going to add that loopback. When you add the loopback, so when you add the loopback interface on the GNS itself, on the cloud, you're going to right click on it. Mine is not going to work because, yeah, it's not going to work. I have a problem with my GNS. So once you right click on it, it's going to give you options to choose which interface you want to use to connect to the firewall. So you're going to choose that loopback. When you choose that loopback, for instance, anything you do on your computer, for instance, that Twitter, when you block the Twitter, you on your computer, you won't be able to access the Twitter no more. You understand what I'm trying to say? You can do that right now on the FortiGate if you want me to do it. That's easy peasy. Let me just do it right now. So that's how it works. That's easy peasy. I don't think there's a need to show that. But I just show
I get it. Like you're trying to we need to configure the ACLs, right?
Yeah, like ACLs, right? But here it's called IPv4. Yeah. It's called ACLs in Cisco. Here it's called IPv4 policies. So what I'm saying is that firewall.
I think this might be like a standard ACLs, right? If you are trying to do like IPv4, then like if we are using the the destination.
Actually, this is an extended ACL. It's an extended.
Oh, it's an extended ACL. Yeah, then we might. Yeah, I get it. Like we are trying to configure the port number, like a destination port number, and like all the. Then it's the extended ACL. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's an extended ACL. So that was one of the interview questions.
I think I did like a couple of I do have like a pretty good knowledge about this. Like I did some labs on these, like when I was studying for the CCNA.
Right. Yeah, I know that. That's what I said. That was one of the interview questions. So I remember you also having a question about ACLs. So what I'm saying is, if you configure it the right way, I can show you how to do it. But I'm really stressed now because I've been driving, I've been to site all day. So I can show you how to do it, but it's pretty straightforward. So what I'm saying is, once you install that loopback interface, your computer itself is touching the firewall in your GNS3 directly. So anything you configure in the firewall on your GNS is going through your computer, is going through it directly. So if, for instance, you configure, let's say, what now, an IPv4 DOS policy, and then you use HPing3 to throw some fragmentation attacks, or what's that thing called, TCP connection attack or bandwidth exhaustion attack. Do you get what I'm saying? With HPing3 to try to DOS your computer, your firewall is going to catch it. So what I'm saying is, you can use that FortiGate literally for your laptop, for a small Soho. So you guys know what Soho is, small office, home office. For like 3 computers, it's going to work. Then the next thing you have to do on the other computers is you have to tell them where you want to pass the traffic to. So what you got to do here is you got to come to PowerShell. I think I've shown this before. From PowerShell, run as administrator. Once you run as administrator, I think I've shown it in these labs before. So once you run PowerShell as administrator, you're gonna use you're gonna tell your PowerShell to, you're gonna say like route add so like, let's say you're trying to tell it to use, so you're creating a static route, right? You're trying to tell it that every time you want to reach the internet. So let's go back to our schematic. Anytime you want to reach the internet, go through this interface. That's what you're trying to tell it to do, which will probably connected via maybe an Ethernet interface. So first thing you want to do is, let's say, get net adapters, because you need an get net adapters, because you need to know, I think it's case sensitive. You need to know the interface ID. Hold on 1 second. Get net adapter. So you need to know the interface ID for that particular adapter. So that's first thing I do. Then you now have to write this. So for instance, if you're using an Ethernet 4, your interface ID is 52. Because your computer does not know Ethernet 4. You can go edit it by yourself. So you have to tell it to use interface 52. So next thing you gotta do is, you're gonna do something like route add, then you give it a subnet. So you can say the subnet should be, let's say 0.0. Let's just say 0.0.0.0. I've never done it like this before. So route add, then you give it fuck, I forget these things, man. You give it a subnet mask, which is mask. You're going to use the mask command. So here you're going to do mask, and go to 255.255.255. No. 0.0.0.0. You're going to say interface. Then you're going to say interface 52, which is the exit interface. If you want the right way to write it, go to route. So that's how to write. So route add, the destination, the mask, the gateway, the metric, and then the interface. I forgot those two. This metric is like administrative distance, and then the gateway is just the next stop address, which has to be an IP address. It cannot be an interface ID. So it has to be the remote one, the remote address. So for instance, the gateway on this one would be the interface of the firewall, the port 1 interface, which is default gateway on the firewall. In this case, it would be like 192.164.99. So what you're going to end up adding is going to be something like, route add 0.0.0.0 mask 0.0.0.0. Then you're going to do 192.168.4.99 metric. The metric don't matter much right now because administrative distance, the lower metric is the one that gets preferred, right? So like EIGRP is 90, for instance. Static route is 1. and that's why one gets preferred to AIGRP. And that's why static routes are more preferred than dynamic routing protocols, because they have a lower administrative distance, right? So if you also want to check your thing, you can come directly to the interface and go to properties. You want to check your metric, come to properties, come to forget where you check it again, sir. You can come to, okay, so come to Ethernet. Let's do for Ethernet. So come to Ethernet, right? Come to properties. Then come to advanced. Then that's where the metric, interface metric is. If you want to set it right here manually. So whatever metric you got is where you go in the, sorry, I figure it is, you got to put the, oh, did I close it already? So you got to put the metric as 1 if you want to prefer it. And interface 52 means that you want it to go out of this interface 52 for the Ethernet 4. If you guys are interested in this, we can literally like go nuts on it. I've done this a bunch of times. I use it to do CCP. So you guys know CCP, I think they've already retired. It's Cisco Configuration Professional. So CCP uses IP HTTP server, IP authentication local, if you're not using the AAA server, and it uses, what's that third one? Username, Outback. Username, admin, privilege 15, password, whatever. So that, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Right. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. If like literally, except Sundays, if you literally don't like, if you try to configure it's not working, just call me. I'll show you how to do it. To be honest, I haven't done this in like 7 years, like that particular task in like 7 years. Last I did was like 2015, but I still remember. So that's that one. Then what else what we're supposed to do today? Yeah, if you have any questions pertinent to what we do, MDF, IDF, scripting, offensive security, penetration testing, you can bring your questions. I told you we're building our own internet. I'll just flash it. You can see it on the side. That's it right there. But I don't want to show everything because it's supposed to be a big deal. It's proprietary. So I'm just working on it. You guys, when I've made a lot of money from it, then you guys will see it. I got to see why myself because I care about myself, you know. So, yeah. So watch out for us. We're going to be putting big infrastructure out there for our own internet. So we're building our own internet. So working on it is one of my very close friends. So when I'll just be flashing it sometimes. That's what we're doing, you know. So back to what we're doing in the like today. So we already worked on. Mr. Ahmed and I already worked on the so if you try it and you really want to like go nuts, like if you're really interested in it, just fucking call me. I'll show you how to do it. I'll put you through. It's not a problem. It's easy peasy for me. I've done it many times, but it's been a long time. I'm rusty. I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't done that particular task in a long time, so 1673 823 824 105. All right, so this is our server. So if you go through the Azure infrastructure, which I sent to you guys, you can send a screenshot to you if you don't have it. You can send it, I can broadcast it to you guys, or is it multicast now? Multicast it to you. All right, so we're gonna send to. So this is what we're building. So give me 1 second. So the point is supposed to be, this our solution is for 70 Active Directory users and 120 nodes. How I have that is your 48 port Catalyst, 2 of them stacked. Then we got a 24-port PoE 40 switch that puts you around 122 interfaces. But because we're using VMware Workstation for our domain controller, which is sort of wrong, that's why, and it's a little unstable. So that's why I arrived at that number. In case anybody was wondering, it's wrong. You shouldn't be using GNS3 for you shouldn't be using VMware Workstation. But I don't know enough about ESXi, man, to be able to do ESXi. Then I think I showed you. Sorry to digress. If you want to check your routing table when you're done with it, to check which one has more, what you've injected into your routing table, you can read it from here. This is your IPv4 routing table. So this is the route that lets you connect to the internet. So the reason why I'm talking to you right now is because of this route. Do you understand? I think this one, I must have mistakenly put it in, maybe, I don't know. But this one is the one that takes you to the internet. It's simple. 0.0.0.0 is your internet. This is this mask of your internet, which technically is not really the mask, a wildcard mask. It's not a subnet mask. You guys know the difference between subnet mask and wildcard mask, right? That, like, technically, right? Technically, it's a wildcard mask. Can you guys still hear me? So technically, it's a wildcard mask. This is the gateway. This 1.1, right? If you do ncpl.cpl, the gateway is the gateway that I'm using to reach the internet, which is the gateway for my Wi-Fi, which is 1.1 right here. And then the 1.30 is me, which is 1.130. And then the metric of 45 has to be the metric of the wireless interface. No, metric is different from interface ID. But yeah, the metric assigned to wireless interface, which is the administrative distance. So once you put your route into the static default route, once you put your route into it, you'll be able to see it on your routing table. Check it. So I think I must have messed it up with this one. And that's one of the reasons why my GNS is not working, because I just keep messing stuff up. So that's by the way. So what we're here to talk about today is working on the servers. I think I already showed you guys a few things about, like, so Shadowflow is the internet we're working on. It's supposed to be an apparition, like a doppelganger for credit points. And then ISP, a schema. So then we're going to show you a small schematic for Shadowflow. This is it. Then this is a didactic version of our rack. So where everybody here is supposed to know how to build, except Sam, is supposed to know how to build this from scratch. So we've messed with the firewall a little, we've messed with the switch a little. We don't have to care about this one because this was the way we configured before, but because the company was rich, we don't need this one. This is our UPS solution, which I've shown you how to deploy. I've shown you the SIP server, but I don't think we've messed around with it enough. Then for the copier, I just use a small printer with me here. And the server is the R240. The CCTV cameras are literally like a DVR where you can SSL VPN into it and control your cameras or watch from outside anywhere in the world. You can also control your UPS or any of these devices from anywhere in the world. So the VLAN 100 for servers, which I already showed you, I already generated documentation for how to build the shadow rack. So if anybody's interested, I send it to them at endpoint.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to know, like, do you have like any idea about how do we set up the IP cameras? I just want to learn how do we set up the IP cameras.
All right. So how you set it up is we have our own proprietary. Give me 1 second. No, not proprietary actually. We have our own in-house camera solution we use. Hold on 1 second. So we have our own DVR solution. Where is the DVR solution? Okay, this is it right here. So it's called Speckle Technologies NVR unit, network video recorder, 4 channels. So what happens here is Hold on 1 second. So this is how it is, right? This is the back. So if you take those GTT jobs, Mr. Kumar, if you take those GTT jobs, you're gonna work with these guys very very often. So this is how it works, right? Power it on. Obviously, this is the VGA. You connect it to your monitor. I don't have one with me yet. I'll show you real time because I don't use camera. I use UFI cameras and Google cameras in my house. So how it works here is you plug your monitor to this guy, plug your line to maybe a VLAN or whatever into this one. Then plug your in the front. It uses normal network RJ45 lines, right? This is not the right. This is not the one I'm looking for. So it uses RJ45 lines. So you run your RJ45 lines from the camera, like regular Ethernet lines from the camera to the. Hold on 1 second. Spherical RJ45 camera DVR camera lines. All right. So yeah, like this. So each of the lines will come. So like camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, like that. And then if you wanted analog cameras or IP cameras, so the Ethernet is what you use to access it. The VGA, you just plug it directly to your monitor. So this is for 8 cameras, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you position the cameras where you want them to be, you run lines to the cameras, and then you can watch it on the VGA on the monitor. Then you can plug your mouse and your keyboard. It comes with their own software, like Raspberry Pi or whatever you could use to configure it, right? Then if you now wanted, let's say you were outside the country and wanted to watch the video, if it doesn't use an app,
what do we call that device, sir? What do we call that device? What's the name of the device?
Just the NVR or DVR, network video recorder.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm gonna just take a screenshot of that.
Yeah, I already sent it to you.
Oh, yeah.
So Mr. Ahmed, take note. The one we have does not have the one we put on the thing. You probably want to grab the right one, Mr. Ahmed. So take note. This is probably the one we need. Is he on the call, Mr. Ahmed? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, Mr. Ahmed, not the. Yeah, when you're doing your extensive list, please put this. I'm gonna share the link with you. Make sure you're grabbing the right type of camera. So L2. So just grab the link. Please don't let me have to remind you, sir. So that's the one we use in-house. The other type of cameras, there's Bosch. If you have plenty of money, when I go work for Target, I use Bosch. So if you want to work for Target, like what I'm saying is like I'm saying that like this is the bottom of the range cameras because that's the one I'm comfortable. I can't kill myself. That's the one I know how to install if I lose my memory. So I'm saying if you go out there are different types of cameras, but this one we install here, and these ones are interior cameras, meaning that you don't want to install them outdoor because they're not factored in so many things. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like humidity, maybe corrosion. You get all this kind of stuff, like maybe the cameras might melt if it's too hot. I don't know, the melting point of the device of the materials used to make it, whatever, you don't know. So these are interior cameras. So moving back to the server that we're trying to work on. So I've already explained, because everybody's supposed to know how to build this from scratch, right? So I've already explained the OSPF. I can show you real quick. I've created the documentation on how to do it because I was trying to make this best practice, which means you have to use ECMP. You have to force the ECMP. I already created a documentation. I can share it with you and how to the exact commands you need to put in. This is like a completed shadow rack. This is what when you go to site to go to configuration, I will be on every install, but this is what it feels like when you're done. So so this is the config for the exact config that we run in user infrastructure for MD5 and for equal cost multipath. That's equal cost load balancing. OSPF does not OSPF does not support unequal cost. So you have to force an equal cost load balancing. EIGRP supports unequal cost load balancing. So that's the command. I've already messed around with it. You have to force the cost to be the same thing because it only supports equal cost load balancing. Then put in the MD5 for the neighborship, which they must match. You have to do it on both ends. So whatever you do on the fucking core stack, you got to do on the firewall too, because they are OSPF neighbors, right? So I already put it. I can send it to you whenever you want. So all the pitfalls, mistakes you're going to make, how to create a ticket as shadow guard, if something goes down on site, and all that good stuff. So I've already shown some of you. We messed with the firewall a little. You can just log into firewall now and show you a few things. But that's not what we came here for today. What we're talking about today is the server. So our server is designed for 70 Active Directory users. I'm going to show you some of the. So we install PDQ deploy, PDQ inventory. Let me show you what we have installed on it. AppWiz.cpl. So we installed Clearbox, Free Radius. We installed PDQ deploy, PDQ inventory, Python, Solarm SFTP, TFTP, WireGuard, XAMPP for hosting websites and all that good stuff. So if you come to Server Manager, okay, we didn't restart yesterday. Restart spending. Come to Server Manager, come to Close, come to Tools, come to ADoc. We have all our employees. So sales, we fired 2 guys, 2 of these girls, so we let them go. Then we have 2 new sales managing partners. These are my guys here. Then tech service as Ahmed. So we have a replication with AD, Active Directory sites and services. Because obviously you're fault tolerant. So for instance, we have a DC2 here, right? I think that's where we stopped at the last lab. Was we cracked the password we forgot the password for the DC2, right? So we cracked the password because we didn't remember the password. That's where we stopped in the last workshop. So we have what else? We have dhcp options. My very first job in the US, this is why I got fired because I didn't know dhcp options. So this dhcp options. There's something called dhcp options, scope options. So this one just means that this one, you use this one for this 003, you use it for IPL paths. This one is just telling this scope option is telling the domain controller that someone is coming in from this guy is going to need you to give it a dhcp list from an LPAC configuration on the core stack, which I can show you real quick if you don't mind. Don't worry, before you come to the labs, eat very well because I get hungry when I read. So what I'm saying is, like, when you guys come here, make sure you guys get a bunch of food before you come here. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting onto the core stack real quick. Don't worry, we're almost done here. Me too. I don't have time to be giving you plenty talk. So I have DHCP for the 10 dot network on the core stack. So if I come here and I do PuTTY SSH, so show run pipe include helper. So this is the IP helper address. So that's what ties to the to that particular. I can show you. That's what ties to show on. That's what ties to. So if you go to the dhcp I created, give me 1 second. So this what does the equal cost multipath for the OSPF. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, 5.network is for Kenny. Right. That makes sense. Alright, so that's what does the equal cost multipath for that one. Then I was going to show you the helper. So on VLAN 200, if you go to the schematic right here, VLAN 200 is for our workstations, right? So it's something called IP helpers. IP helpers means that your DHCP server is on a different network and you're trying to tell it about it. So VLAN 200 obviously is an SVI, and you're trying to tell it that, yeah, this is the IP address of my SVI, but the person that is going to give you IP address is not on the 5 network. So that's what's going on here. Do you understand? Are you guys asleep?
Is it like configuring a label?
No, it's not like configuring a label. IP helper, it's not like configuring a label. You're just telling it that it can reach 3.101 because of intervalent routing. But you are telling it that, you are telling that, hold on, don't worry, bring your questions, please. That's why we are here, please. This is the only thing I do in my life. You have no idea how passionate I am about what I do.
What's like the equivalent of this in Cisco?
Yeah, helper, this is a Cisco device. This is a Cisco device. Yeah, show inventory. This is a Cisco device. This is Cisco MLS. Show version. This is Cisco iOS. See, right? Cisco. Right. Don't worry, bring your questions. Trust me, I have all the answers by the grace of the Holy Spirit. I've read everything. I've read all there is to read. So
yeah, I'm assuming we might need to use what do you say, to do intervalent routing. We might need to use the 802.1q, I think.
Yeah, so that's router on the stick.
We need.
That's router on the stick. No, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's a router on the stick.
You're close. You're close. What you just described is so there's two types of trunk encapsulation. You just described the trunk encapsulation. There's 802.1q. And then there's ISL. ISL is Cisco proprietary interswitch link. 802.1.
Yeah, I think we can do like one more, like a, what do you say, the sub-V, like we can divide the like a single interface into like a sub-interface.
So right, that's the same thing. That's what you're talking about. Router on the stick. There's 3 types of intervalent routing. There's the legacy, there's router on the stick, and there's MLS, right? What you just described now is .1q, which is a 4-byte encapsulation. ISL is a 30-byte encapsulation. ISL.
I'm not getting any idea about the MLS.
Right, the MLS is so 4 bytes. ISL is 4 bytes. The 30 bytes is for .1q. Point in this conversation is we use the MLS type of intervalent routing. I'll show you how to do it. That's not a problem. I can scatter this and do it again in 1 second. Actually not 1 second, maybe like 45 seconds. It's easy peasy. We can do it on the next class. We didn't come here to talk about MLS today. I don't want to digress too much. I'm just trying to give you an overview of how we got to where we are today, right? So, give me 1 second. We do FA0 and GI8. GI8 got OSPF. GI8 is 15 dot, and then FA0 is what now?
Oh, yeah, I get it. I mean, the MLS, you said MLS routing, right? So we have to use the layer 3 switch.
Yeah, you have to use it. Yeah, we have to use it.
Right?
Yeah,
I get it.
So I'll send you guys something now.
You need to enable the IP routing on the on the switch to enable the routing features on the
like it. Yeah, you're very correct. That's it.
And
but
we need to like turn on the SVS, like a
SVS. This virtual interfaces, right? Switch virtual interfaces. You're correct.
SVI, yeah, I get it. SVI. We
Yeah,
need to turn on the
yeah,
SVI. Like we have to click in like a no switch port.
yeah, no switch ports, right? But so this is how it works, right? So no switch port works when, so like how would I explain now? By default, your multi-layer switches think that you're working with them as a layer 2. So when you give it no switch port, it turns it on to be able to take layer 3 like an IP address. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if you don't give a no switch port command, you can't give your interface an IP address. So I was looking for the IP routing command. It's somewhere here, somewhere, but I can't find it. It's probably in front of the OSPF. It comes before the OSPF. So IP routing, it should be somewhere here. I can't find it. You gotta give that IP routing. If you don't give it, it ain't gonna work. So if you do show run pipe routing, include routing. Oh, it's not there. That's weird. But I know it's somewhere.
Yeah, if you don't execute the command called IP routing, it's gonna be like a layer 2 switch only. It won't be like a
no. If you don't give IP routing, it's not going to install. It's not going to inject routes from your routing protocol.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
That is what I'm trying to say. Like it's gonna be like a layer 2 switch only.
It's gonna be like a layer 2 switch. Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's like a waste of the resources if you're not using the layer 3 like a layer 3 switch.
Yeah, I can tell that you've been doing a bunch of reading. I like it. Me, I'm always reading, so it's just normal for me. But yeah, so don't worry. On the next class, we'll scatter everything and do it again. That's why everybody's here, because we're trying to learn, right? So back to why we came here is the server. So like this server is on VLAN 100, the workstations, which is 70 active directories, are on VLAN 200. The IT management is VLAN 250. So if you look at this command here, so for instance, VLAN 250 here is 192.168.19.32.0. This is a wildcard mask. You know, this is different from what you are used to. What you are used to subnet mask. So this one right here means that you're trying to create an access list, an extended named access list, saying that you only want the IT management, which would be like the CEO of the company, or maybe the IT administrator, or the director, or the CIO, to be able to access the network resources. And then you have to apply it in the in direction as an access class to the VTY. So if you scroll down, you see line VTY, access class, SSH restriction in, because you only want that particular subnet to be able to access the line VTY. You see where I'm coming from? So that's the point. Yeah. I know you get it. I know you get it, Mr. Kumar. I know you get it. You've been following. I like it. I can tell you're passionate about what you're doing. So IT management is the VLAN for people that access the firewalls. So the equivalent for this command in FortiGate will be your trusted host. Then clandestine will be like for safes. Like some people have safes on their network, like safes. Like you know what safes are, right? Like where you put your guns, for instance, or where you put valuable stuff, or just sensitive assets. Then the printers will stay on VLAN 600. So there's all intervention routing between everything. Actually, we'll start it over again and configure it from scratch. So I was just trying to explain IP helper. What you're just trying to say is when you're on VLAN 200, I can send the documentation about it real quick. Hold on one second. Let me do something for you guys that explains hold on one second. So I'm gonna share this note with you. These are my notes in one of the jobs I used to work. So it explains a lot of these concepts broken down to anybody that wants to understand it. This is my personal notes of the job I used to work. So this is intervention routing. Share this link with you. It explains it very simple. In a simple way. There's three types of intervention routing. The one you described, Mr. Kumar, which is good work, is router on a stick. The .1 kill 4 bytes encapsulation, trunk encapsulation. So I'm gonna share with you some, please. Let me multicast to the other guys, please.
I think if you are using like a if like it depends upon like what type of network you're trying to configure. Like if it's like a 10 to 15 system, you can like what do you say, like a you can use a
Yeah,
router on the stick. If it's like 2 to 3 departments, like let's assume you are like setting up for
yeah,
a
but
dealership, like there's like a HR,
not
sales,
scalable.
and like some other thing. You can just like set it up like three.
Not, it's not scalable.
Yeah, it's not scalable. Like if you want to
Right,
scale
it's
it,
not
I would say
scalable.
you gotta use the MLS, multi-layer switching.
Right, the multi-layer, I just use multi-layer because
Yeah.
that solves the problem. No stress. It just solves it all the fucking time. So yeah. So let's go back to this thing because we have probably like 5 more minutes. So that's the point in this DHCP options. If you don't put the options, you're never going to get your fucking DHCP server to give out addresses to another
Uh,
subnet. If
do
you
you
don't
have
put this
any
here,
idea about the what do you say the VLAN trunking protocols
yeah, BTP,
like
right?
BTP? Yeah, BTP and
Server,
DTP.
server client and transparent, right? Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't worry, we'll configure everything in the labs. We do.
Okay.
I don't use VTP here, like VTP proning or VTP domain passwords and all that stuff. But I know what you're talking about. I've used it at the previous job. I can show you. Let me show you.
Yeah,
So,
I mean I have
so
did all
where
the
the
labs
VTP,
on the concept we
so the
have like
VTP.
during demonstration today. Like I do all the labs on these.
Oh yeah, that's good shit. That's good shit, man. I like to see it. Yeah, I like to see it. Like to see it. We like to see it. So, give me 1 second. Microsoft Management Console. Yeah. So what we're talking about here though is that's why you need those. I'll just show you what we have configured in server, right? Then we have a group policy. Like for instance, we blocked all the thumb drives in the company. So anybody that plugs the thumb drive to any computer in the company is never going to work. It's like there's a name for it. It's oh fuck, I forget it. So long as there's a solution that does stuff like that. Oh fuck. It's called like a endpoint privilege management, something related to that. So we also have one for network drive that everybody accesses. If you were supposed to work at the company full time, this is the network drive. You get to see. You must have seen like a network drive like this. So for the network drive, some people can access certain folders, some people cannot access certain folders. Like for instance, sales managers can access shareholders. They will see it, but they can't access it. The technical service cannot access shareholders. The shareholders can access technical services. So creating all that inheritance, like from the disabling the inheritances is, add advanced. I always forget to do this thing. So I think we did it yesterday. Me and Mr. Ahmed. Yeah, this is where you do it from. So
Okay,
you got to disable the. You have to remove the inheritances first, and then add the ones you want implicitly. So what is left with the server here? I'm just trying to have you guys catch up because we're not busy at the business yesterday, so we just had to go stay busy, So we already installed IIS. So max number of virtual machines, 8 virtual machines. I have a 4-core 32 gig DDR4. I configure RAID 10. You guys are familiar with RAID levels, right? I tried to explain RAID levels yesterday. You guys know RAID levels. You guys know RAID levels, right? RAID.